celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio. Here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Judy is screening your calls. Don't forget, you can also get through to us via email, your voice at animalradio.com. Or if you have the Animal Radio app for your smartphone, iPhone or Android, not your dumb phone, your smartphone. If you have that, you can ask your questions right there on the app as well as listen to the show and check in with us. Also visit us over on Facebook this week. I understand we have some big cash and prizes over at Facebook. In fact, am I eligible for that? Can I go like the page and win? No. Okay. Alan, I need your help.
Yes.
New neighbors moved in next door. They have, I mean, they're real nice. I haven't actually met them yet, but they have what I assume are huge dogs.
They have two. I've seen them.
You've seen them?
Yeah, they're like, they look like a Labradoodle or something. There's two huge
They
ones.
start barking at 6 a.m. in the morning. I really don't want discord among the neighbors, but I know a lot of people suffer from this. What would you do?
If dogs were barking at 6 a.m., I would go talk to the folks.
You would?
I would go talk to them about it. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, come on, you gotta.
I don't want to be the first encounter that I have with them. Me saying.
Well, you go over with some nice cookies or dog treats. Bring a gift.
At 6
it's
o'clock
hard
in the
for
morning?
people- No, you don't go over there at 6 o'clock in the morning. First you get some cookies or you get some dog treats and you go over and say, "Hey, how's it going? I'm your new neighbor. What's up? I love your dogs. They're really pretty. How come? Do you think you could? Because at 6 a.m. they start barking. Do you think you could help me with that? Try to get their help.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? They're probably saying the same thing. They're going, damn dogs are barking at 6 a.m. How do I shut them up?
I would run over there because I had this problem once before. At 2 a.m. barking dogs, and we went over to the neighbor's house, pounding on the front doors, and they were there. They would not answer their door, but their dogs were yapping away in the backyard. So I would get out there at 6 a.m. and knock on their door.
Did it work though, Debbie?
It did. It did. We never actually had that conversation, but the barking did stop. So I think they knew we were upset.
That's tough. Dogs like that. And when there's two of them, a lot of times there's two of them. One is instigating the other, and they go nutty. They just love to bark. That's what they do. They like to bark at people through the fence. They like to make noise. They like to hear themselves bark. They like to warn you that someone's coming. That's just what they do. But you can't stop it. You can really stop it if you want to.
Now, what should their parents do for it?
You got to actively go out there and, you got to teach them the word quiet, and you reward them with praise and treats when they're quiet, and when they're barking, you give them corrections. You got to constantly correct them so that they understand. My dog used to do that. He still does. I mean, he'll bark when somebody comes up to the house. I just open the window. I go, "Rudy, quiet." And he shuts up, and basically he knows if he doesn't listen the first time, I'm going to put him in a dark room for 20 minutes, which he hates. That's how you punish a dog.
Is that what you do? Put him in a dark room?
Put him in a dark room. And you know what else?
Yes.
You know what else? I'll show him. I have a big muzzle. I'll show it to him because I put it on him once, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't want that on." I'll put that on. I put that on him once for a half hour, and he listens to whatever I say.
What is that, like a dunce cap or something like that? A muzzle cap?
Dogs do everything with their mouths. So if that's a big punishment right there. You put a muzzle on a dog, it's like, holy cow, I'm messed. I can't do nothing. So he hates that. So he knows that barking is okay until I tell him, "Hey, cut it out." He knows. He knows the word quiet.
You're the only one with obedient animals on the dream team. I got to tell you that right now.
Hey, we're working on it.
Boss is pretty well behaved. He listens to me very well. He does not listen to my husband for nothing.
Well, I saw the way, a few weeks ago back at Super Zoo. I love the way you did the hand signals and made him sit, and he was just watching you. He was just staring in your eyes. I thought you had him under control very well.
That's what they do.
Well, thank you. He definitely, he knows I'm the disciplinarian in the household. and Alan, I got to wonder, what the heck did your parents do to you? Locking the dogs in the dark and putting muzzles on them?
That's the best punishment you can give a dog is if you, even before you train a dog to do something or after you're done training a dog, if you put them in a dark, quiet room, they hate it. They're locked away from the pack, and they actually think. Things get into their brains when you do that. And that's the best way to punish a dog. You separate them from the pack, put them in a dark, quiet room for about 15, 20 minutes, and then when you let them out, you're happy to see them. But that's a great punishment for a dog. Because people are always like, how do I discipline them? That's the way to do it. That's just my opinion. It works really well.
They put me in a dark room whenever I misbehave.
Oh, that explains it, Hal.
That probably explains it. But
Hal's in a dark room right now.
I am.
He's always in a dark place.
Speaking of someone in a dark room, Stacy, what do you got going on?
They say that art is in the eye of the beholder, but would you pay $35 for a piece of art that's been done by an otter?
Sure.
Yeah, the kind that swim and gnaw on trees in the lakes. You know, those big logs.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a woodchuck.
I
don't know.
beavers.
What do otters really do? They take their tails and flap around and stuff. I don't know what they really do. What's the purpose of an otter? I guess to paint. Well, I'll tell you about it coming up on Animal Radio News.
So many questions, so little time. We have Ben on the phone. Hey, Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
Actually, I'm out on the lake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Kicking it on the lake, listening to
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Oh, what I have is a Canadian German Shepherd. We rescued her, and we picked her up when she was about 1.5 years. She's probably right around 4 years old now.
Okay.
And we know she was probably a backyard breeder because she had a pup with her. And the pup ended up having hip dysplasia. So the veterinarian did the surgery on the pup and ended up keeping the pup because he liked it so much.
Oh, okay. Well, what about her? What's she got going on?
So anyway, her name's Daisy. She's an awesome dog. I cannot express how awesome she is. But like she used to be able to jump up in the back of the truck. She can't do that. She yipes really loud, makes loud noise, like a lot of pain.
Okay.
Like if we're playing with her in the house with the ball, she likes to run back and forth and jumping in the air. You'll hear her yipe. And a couple of times when I was touching her in her hips, and she is yiped. So I have concerns that more than likely she may have hip dysplasia.
Yeah, no, I would share that concern as well there, Ben. And I think, now I'm assuming you haven't really had this looked at yet, or have you seen a veterinarian?
No, I have not.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna give you that that confirmation that you need to pick up the telephone and call your veterinarian, because those symptoms that you are noticing are definitely of concern for a dog for hip dysplasia. Now, the first thing when you started with your call, German Shepherd, that by all means is one of the first things we talk about. Is there is an inherited and a breed tendency for things like hip dysplasia. So if a pup already had a problem, then yes, I'm going to say that's very suspect for her. So anything early symptoms of hip dysplasia in a young dog or even a young adult dog, we might see a shortened gait. They may be a little crouched down in the back end. Some dogs will do what we call a bunny hopping gait, where their back legs kind of go together like a rabbit instead of left, right, left, right. Those are very subtle things. Now, if we're seeing pain, difficulty jumping, or if you put your hand over the hip area and as she's moving, you feel a pop, those are all more advanced signs that we've got some problems there. So the first thing I like to do for a pet with these types of concerns is to get some x-rays to know what we're up against and what the realities of what we can and can't do to help one individual. Sometimes it may be medication. Other times it might be surgery. And I think that's going to be the first point as we figure out where your doggy fits into this equation. And then at least in the meantime, till you do get to the veterinarian, I would not hesitate to get this baby on some good joint support. Things like glucosamine or even Lubricin, which is a hyaluronic acid supplement. It helps to replace some of the synovial fluid, the cushioning.
It's called Lubricin?
Lubricin, yeah. You'll hear about it on our
never
show.
heard of that.
Yeah, it's actually in a liquid formula, and these type of products can help in a kind of natural way to help relieve inflammation, pain, and to restore the joint to a better situation. Now, there are some joints that need more help than that, so we might need to pull out other medicines, non-steroidal pain relievers, sometimes narcotic-like medicines like Tramadol can be very helpful for dogs with minimal side effects for long-term use if those hips are really, really bad.
We exercise her. She likes running on the treadmill, believe it or not, for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, maybe a mile and a half, 2 miles.
Okay. And that's great if she's got that interest and she wants to do that and she has, the drive. The thing we have to watch is that, there's probably pain associated with that. So if you're noticing her having discomfort during the day, I take a little easy with that exercise till we can get a good diagnosis, know where we're at with things. But definitely a dog with arthritis, that's a great point you bring up. We don't want a dog with arthritis to sit around the house. That's the worst thing we can do. I'll tell you, I was away on vacation, enjoying a few Mai Tais in Hawaii, and we had a dog sitter watching our dogs. I have a 13-year-old Labrador. She goes out walking with us about 4 to 5 days a week for an hour in the morning, and she's arthritic. We're treating it. But I'll tell you what, being cooped up in a house for 2 weeks, we came back, and she had lost a lot of function. She was stiff, she was gimping, and she did not have the stamina she did just 3 weeks prior. So it is really important to keep up that exercise, but also to make sure we're not pushing her too far and control that pain as best we can.
And you can keep her off concrete, right, Dr. Debbie? Keep her on like grass, soft surfaces. That'll help a little, won't it?
If you can, just like people. If you're a jogger, it's better to jog on either dirt or grass than on those solid concrete surfaces.
Let's say for somebody that has a dog with this hip dysplasia, and what they have to do is end up having surgery on the dog. How successful is the surgery upon a canine like that?
Mm-hmm. It's going to depend greatly on what type of approach and what kind of surgery they can do. Now, for young dogs, like you mentioned, her pup, if we can intervene before arthritis sets in, when they have a nice kind of cleared hip joint where they don't have that arthritic buildup, but they have poorly fitting hips, dogs that have that surgery called a TPO have excellent success. But that we have to intervene generally before a year to year and a half. So for an older pet, we're either going to talk either hip replacement or what we call an FHO, a femoral head ostectomy. And it will depend a lot on what your pet's x-rays look like and overall health.
She's an awesome dog.
And it sounds like you love her dearly. So, I would definitely pick up that telephone, get your vet on the line, and get that baby in there and get her checked out, okay?
And enjoy your day on the boat. We appreciate you calling in.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Fido Friendly Magazine presents the 14th Annual Cross Country Pet Adoption Tour. Get your licks on Route 66. Along with media sponsor Animal Radio, the tour travels down America's favorite highway, stopping at shelters along the way to support adoption events. With the help of companion sponsor Zymox, the tour has helped place over 16,000 pets into new forever homes in the first 13 years. Cat food sponsor Catit, grooming sponsor Hands On Gloves, hotel sponsor Kimpton, campground sponsor KOA, and advocate sponsor Barkworthies are also part of the fun at each event. Companion sponsors Tito's Vodka for Dog People, Brutus Bone Broth, Earth Bath, and Zulu Tales go along for the ride as we bring our giant spinning wheel full of prizes to raise money for each shelter. Log on to FidoFriendly.com to find out where the tour may stop near you and come out for a safe and fun way to support animal adoption. And who knows, you might just find your new forever friend.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Toll free to Dr. Debbie, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, animal communicator Joey Turner, and Wendy Diamond. And I believe we're going to line 4 where we have Donna for Joy. Hi, Donna. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Well, I have 2 cats, a 12-and-a-half-year-old named Gracie, who is a Tortian White, and I have Chessie, who is about a year old now, and she's a calico from Animal Control, and she sort of pesters my older cat because she really wants to play with her, and I want to ask her if I get maybe a 4-month-old kitten to be her buddy and wrestle with her and give her play outlet, will she leave my 12-year-old kitty Gracie alone?
Well, and I have to tell you, both kitties, Donna, are with me, and Jessie is so excited to jump in there and say she's not tormenting Gracie. She's trying to get her to be more active because she believes when she's more active, she's going to be healthier, she's going to be happier, life will be more fun for her, so she thinks she's really doing her a great, great favor. So one of the things I would suggest you do with Jessie is compliment her on why she's trying to play with Gracie and let her know how much you appreciate the thought. And then we can talk to her about things like, we really appreciate that, honey, and do you know Gracie sees this entirely differently? And she tells me no. And I'm saying, well, I think that would be probably obvious by Gracie's behavior, that we think it would be more appropriate to play with someone that wants to play and let Gracie do what she's wanting to do, which is to be more quiet. So Jessie just said to me, okay, so what's the options? And I'm saying you can get another kitty that would be your playmate. And she just gave me the funniest little look, Donna. She says to me, then maybe I can teach her to help me with Gracie.
Oh, no. Then see, I'm afraid they would gang up on Gracie, and both of them would start chasing her around.
Well, that's going to be a thing that you would need to actually supervise there, my dear. Just let them know lovingly, because they are trying to do Gracie a favor. So it's not like they're being mean to her or wanting to do something bad to her. So what you can do with that, and by the way, she does want someone to play with, so getting her another kitty would be a good thing in her thought. And I would just keep talking to her about the two that want to play need to play. You need to leave Gracie alone and give them timeouts if they chase Gracie. Just take them, put them both in like a bathroom or somewhere that isn't their normal place that they're going to go and hang out, but someplace where they're going to be comfortable and, of course, not be harmed or anything. And every time they chase her, give them maybe 10 minutes timeout. And if you're not there to supervise initially, give Gracie her own space. That she doesn't have to worry about the others.
Do you think one of those little collars that you got that had that funny alarm that you could make go off would be a good thing to put on Jessie that would just give her a noise every time she was aggressive to Gracie?
She gets a little aggravated when I show her that collar, which means she may do exactly the opposite. Cats can be a little bit contrary like that.
Okay. If I have time, what does Gracie think about getting a 4-month-old kitten to, take the heat off of her and give Jessie a buddy?
She thinks as long as it works like that, it's a great idea. But she does want you to supervise and make sure that she's not going to be attacked by two.
Okay.
Thanks for your call, Donna. We appreciate it.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hey, it's Vinny Penn, your party animal, coming at you on Animal Radio. You know one saying that I've got to tell you, it may be true, it may not be true. I always encourage the Animal Radio listeners to shoot me an email at vinny@animalradio.com. But even if this is true, which I would really find that hard to believe, I'm sick of hearing it. And that's the saying, hey, dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans. My two beloved dogs, I always gave them kisses on the head, playing with their ears, and them I never really did. I'm going to come right out and say it, the French kiss with my dog, or the full-on, their tongue lapping at my lips kiss. I never really did that. When I see people doing that, I'm always just, especially after you've just seen the dog in particular spend a good 20 minutes giving himself, quite frankly, I'll come right out and say it, a genital bath. And the person says, oh, come on, the dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans. I'm finding it hard to believe. Is there doggy scope? Has anybody, can I go to a Pets? I haven't been in a while. Is there doggy scope? Is there doggy floss? I know my two dogs didn't get up in the morning and brush their teeth. So how is it possible that this dog who just ate a lizard, lapped at his own crotch region, maybe even ate his own feces or licked another dog's butt, his mouth is really cleaner than your own, you're saying? If that's the case, then might I suggest you just have all of your teeth and your gums removed. Just stitch your mouth up, because if your dog's mouth is cleaner than yours, then yours should never be allowed to be open again. Vinny Penn, party animal on Animal Radio.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too. It's pretty common knowledge that some college students have more than studying on their minds. But even with all that monkeying around, you'd think that students at Duke University would be smarter than a monkey. A recent study at Duke pitted 2 female monkeys against 14 college students. Both were asked to solve math problems. They were shown 2 sets of dots on flashcards, which they had to mentally add. The humans were not allowed to count or verbalize as they worked. Surprisingly, the monkeys did about as well as the college students. Their research pointed to the importance of language in helping humans solve more advanced calculations. Now, both teams were paid for their efforts. The college students received $10, and the monkeys, well, they got their favorite drink, Kool-Aid. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition, now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. That's 800-478-6084.
Hi, this is Dr. Paul on Incredible Radio. Is that what it is?
Animal Radio.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hello, this is Dr. Paul on Animal Radio. Take care of the pets and make sure that in these hot days that they get in lots of water and don't tie them outside in the sun because then they get a heat stroke.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. An alligator was found in a supermarket parking lot on New York's Long Island just a day after another gator was discovered in the same lot. It was a 3 to 4 foot long alligator, and it was in the Pathmark parking lot. They found it on a Wednesday. On a Tuesday, a 2 to 3 foot gator was found in the same spot. The reptiles were captured. They were turned over to Nassau County Emergency Services Unit. They were sent to a reptile sanctuary in Florida, and there are reports that authorities believe that somebody dumped it there. Gee, wonder how they figured that one out. This was the third alligator sighting on Long Island in less than a week. Last Friday, an alligator was found crawling on the front lawn of a Mistake Beach home. Broward County authorities say the winner of a roach eating contest died shortly after eating dozens of roaches and worms. Several contestants ate insects to win a python. That was the grand prize of the contest at Ben Siegel Reptile Store in Deerfield Beach. The Broward County Sheriff's Office says the winner of the challenge, 32-year-old Edward Archibald, became sick right after he collapsed in front of the store. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Sheriff's Office said Monday it was waiting for an autopsy report to determine the cause of death. No other contestants became sick after that contest. You can eat cockroaches. They're safe. They're on the FDA list. You can eat a cockroach. You eat all you want of them, as long as they are raised in a controlled environment, like a laboratory. But the kind that are just, around people's houses, eating all the crap that, from sewage or whatever, you can't eat those. So who knows, maybe one of the bad cockroaches got in there. I don't know. If it's an FDA cockroach, you can eat it. A hungry orphan black bear cub entered an Arizona home and it ate chocolate cake before it was discovered by the homeowners. It was sent to a local zoo now, according to wildlife officials. They called 2012 a difficult one for southeast Arizona bears due to wildfires and drought. Arizona Game and Fish Department went on this call, and this black bear was inside the home. It's a Sonata area home. And the homeowners awoke. They found this bear cub had entered their home through an open kitchen window. This bear ate some chocolate cake. It's just like the story of the three bears. It didn't get to lay down or try a chair out, as far as we know, but it was there stuffing its mouth with chocolate cake. The Arizona Game and Fish removed the cub. They transferred it to the Heritage Park Zoo in Prescott. Since the cub is too young to fend for itself in the wild, it's expected to become part of a future zoo exhibit. Arizona has an estimated 2,500 black bears. That's the only bear species that's found in the state. You know what? If you're going to go in a home and eat something, you might as well eat chocolate cake. What else could you want? I'm Stacy Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Alan Cable, here's today's Scam Watch. A lot of folks are going to the internet to find themselves puppies. Folks like Dawn, who lost one of her dogs
on Thanksgiving.
So she went online to find a new puppy.
Came upon bestfriendhusky.com.
She read all the testimonials on the website and felt comfortable with it.
All of them said they would come back again and get another husky.
She picked out one of the puppies and sent the breeder in Minnesota $500. But did the dog arrive?
No.
She sent another $905 that was supposed to be for a special heated crate.
I finally realized that this is for sure a scam.
The website was taken down and she never heard from the breeder again. Thousands of people a year who just want to get a new puppy are getting ripped off.
We get tens of thousands of complaints on this. I would never get a puppy sight unseen.
Many times the pet you fall in love with online doesn't even exist. It's just a picture off the internet. Dawn got herself a new puppy, but she also got scammed.
He's an evil man.
This is
Animal Radio.
Hi, this is Park Overall. I am just thrilled about Animal Radio. Please, spay and neuter your animals. Please.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
It's Animal Radio. The phone's ringing off the hook, and Dan is on the phone for Alan. Hi, Dan. I got to hit that button there. I'm sorry about that. Hey, Dan, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just great.
I got Alan right here. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you I just absolutely love the show.
Oh, well, thanks.
And I really especially like Vinny and his animal responsibility stuff. I've been a lifelong horse and dog owner, and my first career for the most of my life was as a horseshoer. But I've been driving a semi for a number of years now, and I wanted to respond to the truck driver who was asking about a breed.
Oh, yeah.
I think if he looks around, he'll see an awful lot of miniature schnauzers in the big trucks.
Why is that?
Well, when I first started driving a truck, I didn't have a dog for a while. I'd always had cow dogs and bird dogs, and they're medium to large dogs. And it was kind of a miserable first couple of years not having a dog. But I looked around, and miniature schnauzers were absolutely one of the most popular breeds. And I can see why now. I went to the Humane Society, and on the bulletin board there was a 1-year-old male schnauzer listed for sale, and I went and bought him. His name is Fritz, and of course I've always taken my dogs to work with me. And he's a very devoted little dog. He's just the right size for a truck. You can get around between the seats and into the sleeper and back and forth, where a larger dog has harder problems. That makes a big difference when you live in a tight quarters.
Well, plus I can't see big truckers driving around with poodles. I mean, I don't think there's anything personally wrong with it.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but guys have this thing.
Most truck drivers are guys, so there are a lot of women out. 40% of the truck drivers are women. The schnauzers are a little more manly.
I would recommend that all dog owners be as attentive and as intelligent, smart, thought out as you are, buddy, because your dog's behavior has so much to do with you. You have no idea. It has everything to do with you. And folks that call and they think they got the best dog in the world, usually the dog has the best owner in the world. Did you see the story, you guys, the other day? This dog saved a little baby's life, 8-month-old infant, very obedient dog, rescue dog, and the dog ran into the bedroom. Jumped on the bed, wouldn't get off the bed, was shaking, and the people are like, "What's going on?" So they go into the nursery, and the little 8-week-old baby had stopped breathing, and this dog saved that baby's life. Wow. And that's the thing. These people are great owners, and so are you, my friend. I love truckers. Can I tell you just a real quick story? I was at a truck stop the other day with my boy. He's 8 years old. I like to expose him to different things, and he's looking at all the trucks, and he goes, "Dad, that would be cool." And 2 truckers, burly truckers, turn around and they go, "Boy, you stay in school."
Well, that driver was right, because probably 10 years from now, we're going to see probably at least half the trucks on the road.
Well, why is that?
Well, they've already authorized in Nevada and now California also to have the robotic vehicles on the road. They're licensable, and Google is actually the company that has put the money up for test projects. So, yeah, you're probably going to see it in a neighbor's family vehicle soon, and also on the road.
Wow.
In our lifetime.
Yeah, cars that drive themselves.
Oh, wow.
I have another question for you.
Oh, okay.
That dog that saved the baby's life, did it happen to be a boxer?
No, it was a mutt. It was a rescue dog. I mean, it was just a little, mid-sized, really neat-looking dog. And you can find it on the Internet. The stories I'm always on the Internet looking for stories like this. I just love seeing stories like this. It makes me feel good, and I just love dogs so much. So when I see these things, I always tell Hal about them.
Everybody I know that has had a boxer has a family story of where the boxer saved some kid from drowning or somebody from a burning house. They just seem to be real protective family dogs that are really into.
Hey, I can tell you, when I was a little kid, I was about 7 years old, there was a white German Shepherd. Have you ever seen a white German Shepherd, you guys? Very rare.
Very rare.
And this was in Rockaway Beach. This was in Rockaway Beach, Queens, and there was about 8 of us kids. And this woman who owned this dog weighed about 130 pounds. The woman would say, I can't remember the dog's name. She would say, watch the kids. And this dog would not let us go anywhere. He would hurt us. And if some stranger walked up, he would just sit there right in front of us. And the closer the stranger got, he would just give a little growl, and the people would turn around and walk away. But that was one of the smartest dogs that I'd ever seen. And I was just a little kid. This dog had wisdom, He had that look in his eye like he was more than a dog.
Well, I have one more comment, and I'm going to let you go.
Okay.
You know how a lot of people are onto the true path of spirituality?
Yeah.
Those who don't have dogs are only half-stepping.
They're only half-stepping.
You know what we got to do? We got to start the Church of the Dog. We'll just have like giant dog buildings all over.
And dog we trust.
Yes, we can be the preachers, and it'll be the religion of the dog.
I listen to you on Sirius XM radio. And
cool.
Sirius Star is the dog star.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is.
Yes.
Gotta love it. Hey, Dan, thanks for your call today. We appreciate it.
Happy trails.
You too. Another OTR checking in with us toll free for Dr. Debbie or for Alan Cable, Joey Volani, Joy Turner, or Wendy Diamond, all here at your beck and call.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Eric Dane on Animal Radio, reminding you to spay and neuter your pets.
Do you have a home that you don't want anymore? We can buy it from you within 24 hours. Any home, size, or condition. For over 20 years, we've been buying homes for cash and helping homeowners sell their homes immediately with no listings or strangers walking through your home. Are you moving? Did you lose your job? Going through a divorce? Whatever the reason, if you're in a bind and you know that you need to sell your house fast, call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. We'll make you a serious cash offer to buy your home in 24 hours and let you walk away from it. No listing, no waiting. Sell any home, any size, any condition, now. Call the expert team at I Need to Sell My House Fast. Make this free call now.
800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. 800-478-6084. That's 800-478-6084.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
This is kind of cool. Let me ask you, Alan, let's say you're out, you're shopping, doing whatever you're doing. You have your cell phone with you, and you live alone, but you get a phone call with the caller ID from your house.
I saw that story. That was funny, wasn't it?
I would think someone's in my house. Someone's ransacking my house. They've called. No one should be there.
I'd call the police.
That's exactly what this guy did in Salt Lake City. Police went there, and they didn't find anything missing or broken. And it turns out, later on, the man called police officers and told them he figured out the mystery. His dog had grabbed the home phone receiver and apparently hit the redial button while he was burying the phone in the backyard.
Yeah, they had to call the phone to find where it was.
Where it was. It's ringing in the backyard under the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I want to know, was it on redial?
Well, I think the phone dialed him on his cell phone, and then he was listening. And he could hear all this scratching noise and all this noise. And the dog was actually burying the phone,
at the
but
time?
He thought somebody was he thought somebody was ransacking his house.
That's funny. You can't make this stuff up.
No, you sure can't. Let's see. Is that your mic or my mic? That's your mic. Your mic's on the fritz there. I'm going to figure that puppy out. Do you have pictures of animals at your desk, Judy?
I do. I have when my computer goes to sleep, the pictures come up and they play different pictures.
Do you are you more productive because of those pictures that you have at your desk?
I would think so. I don't think I'm less productive.
Or maybe you should double up on pictures there, because I see that having pictures of baby cute animals at your desks increases your productivity.
See, and everybody always teases me.
And this according to an article from Sarah Cliff from the Washington Post, and we welcome her to the show. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
So what research did you find out? What do you know?
So this was a study done by some Japanese researchers at Hiroshima University. And what they did was they showed a group of university students some pictures before they played a board game that's, it sounds like a Japanese version of the game Operation, where you kind of have to drop all the pieces in the right part of the body. And what they found is they showed them pictures of grown-up animals, of cats and dogs, of baby animals, of kittens and puppies, and pictures of tasty foods, things like steak or sushi. And they found far and away that the students, were the most accurate right after seeing the pictures of the baby animals. And there really wasn't a very strong effect for the grown-up animals or for the really nice-looking food, that the accuracy just really went through the roof after they looked at the baby animal pictures.
Was this just women or women and men?
No, it was women and men, and the effect was exactly the same. They tried to break it down by gender and didn't see any kind of breakdown in effect.
Yeah, well, why do you think this is?
So the researchers have a few reasons. One of the ones they give is that, seeing is an evolutionary explanation that when you kind of see a baby animal, it has those big eyes, it looks very helpless, and you kind of get a little more careful about your movements. You become, a little more aware of this vulnerable creature that you're looking at and start being a little more careful with how you're moving.
Do you have pictures at your desk?
I don't, but after I wrote about this study, it makes me think maybe I should get some.
I have pictures of Lucky everywhere on my desk.
You're
really
pretty
adorable.
productive, aren't you?
Really? Really adorable little photos, and I have to do it. It just makes me smile. I really have to do it.
I have pictures of beer on my desk.
That motivates you.
All different cans.
I guess so. So this doesn't apply to just babies, because Judy, you were saying earlier it was baby pictures, but this is animal pictures.
This is dogs, and cats.
Yeah, well, this isn't actually, so it's only baby animals. So they did try with pictures of adult animals, of full-grown cats and dogs. That did not have any effect.
So I wonder if you put pictures of the dog's owner all around him, if he'd be more productive.
I don't know. I think it'd be a very difficult scientific study to design.
Well, can we see this online?
Yes, it's at the Washington Post. If you go to Wonk Blog, which is the name of the blog I write for, and I believe the title of the article is something like, "Want to be more productive at work? Look at this adorable kitten."
Great.
So everybody stop teasing me. I get a lot more work done than you.
Well, I actually bring my animal into work. Does that slow me down or does that speed me up?
I don't know. There might be kind of the two effects canceling each other out there.
Sarah, we thank you so much for your time. We'll put a link over at the Animal Radio website that links to your article. Thanks.
Great. Thanks for having me.
We are very delighted to have Wendy Diamond as part of our dream team. What good are you up to this week, girlfriend?
Well, I'm gonna self-promote my Humane Society of New York. We all have a Humane Society in all of our communities. And so we're doing our big Halloween pet costume party that's going to benefit the Humane Society, and my dog Lucky Diamond has a wing there. It's the Lucky Diamond Critical Care Unit, and that is the ward where people who have major problems with their pets that need critical care, we have donated the money and the wings so that they can care for if they don't have the money to pay for it. And so the money will all go to that. And we've got Richard Belzer from Law & Order.
Oh, wow.
And we have Countess Luann from Real Housewives of New York. We've got Dina Manzo, who's on HGTV now. She's got Dina's Party, but she was on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. And we've got a lot more people. Thomas Roberts from NBC, who, by the way, just got married. Can you believe it? And he's gay. And him and his partner Patrick just got married, and their two dogs will be at our Halloween benefit. But if people are in the New York area, whether in New Jersey or Connecticut or, Pennsylvania, and, if you can't afford tickets and you can win tickets to come to our event. You just have to sign up and put your cute photo of your dog or cat, or if you're a shelter that has a dog or cat that needs attention, whoever wins this will be the co-host with Baby Hope at our Halloween pet costume party.
Wow.
And they will be on all the TV shows, and they will be all over the world once this event happens, so they can have that animal adopted. So this will be a really fun event.
Okay,
Wendy's
we'll put
got
a link.
A good heart.
She really does. And she's a name dropper, too. We're going to put links to that.
Not really, but it's like the people. I don't really need to, but it's at the end of the day, it's like who I am with because of what I do for a living. And,
Wendy.
I work with the United Nations. So it's, I'm very involved with a lot of the different aspects of what they're supporting. So
Can I ask you a question, Wendy? Do they harvest Red Bull right from your veins? Is that where it comes from?
Oh, you're so cute. No. I have 2 cups of coffee every morning. I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning. I do yoga 3 times a week, and I go to bed no later than 10:30 every night. Nothing good happens after midnight outside the bedroom.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Celebrating our connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio. Here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
And your dream team, Wendy Diamond, Joey Turner, dog father Joey Villani, dog trainer Alan Cable, Dr. Debbie. All a phone call away. It's Animal Radio. I'm Hal Abrams. Judy Francis is screening your calls.
Dr. Debbie was the one kid in the neighborhood when the kid fell off his bike. She hovered over and said, "Is there pain? Is there pain?"
Can I see the blood?
On the show today, we're going to talk to Ripley's, believe it or not. We do this every year when they come out with the new Ripley's and find out what strange animals are doing what. We'll have giveaways. Is that
yes,
correct?
We always have giveaways.
Every year. That's very cool. All on the way right here on Animal Radio. Stacy, what are you working on?
Well, we all know the story of the 3 bears. They go into this house and they check out the furniture, they check out the beds, they take a little bite to eat.
I know.
Well, everybody's happy except the baby bear. It's always uncomfortable. I think that's the story, isn't it?
That's
the baby
story,
bear is always complaining. Anyway, kind of like the 3 bears, just the baby bear actually went into somebody's house and started to help itself to the food. I'll tell you about it. Coming up on Animal Radio News.
I believe Stacy has a brand new bear book.
Does she? All about bears. The bears.
The bears. You know, we were talking a few weeks back about how bull semen is so expensive. Just damn expensive these days. You can't buy cheap bull semen. And for that
that's
reason,
a problem everyone has.
Yeah, for that reason, the farmers that are, or should I say, they're called farmers?
I think so.
They're farmers, yeah.
That's politically correct.
In order for them to get their female cows preggers,
they're dairy cows.
They're dairy cows. They have to wait for a certain time. They have they have to be in heat, right?
Right.
Is right. And you never really know when that's going to happen.
Well, it's tricky. It's definitely very tricky because cows are only receptive for sometimes as 18 hours.
Wow, really that short?
Yeah, so it can be tricky to find that. So it takes either close observation or other tips and tricks to do that.
There's a brand new trick. It's a brand new piece of technology. Actually, it's not new. It's a smartphone for the cow, which texts. It texts the farmer when the cow is ready. And
what?
I know, hard to believe. I don't know how it exactly attaches, but I guess when they're in heat, obviously the temperature of the something goes up somewhere, and they fiddle around a lot.
Yeah,
too.
plus their activity increases.
So they got one of these little gadgets.
That's implanted into the female
the genital
cow.
area.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a motion sensor that attaches to the neck. And when these set off, it sends a text to the farmer saying it is time to use that bull semen.
Isn't that something?
I wanted to get these guys on the phone. I tried to call them this morning before the show. I had no idea where I was calling, but I got a French answering machine. They are French.
They are French.
Maybe you should just stand next to the cow.
Well, but that's the problem. Most dairy farmers have to do this like 4 times a day to go out and watch them to see if they're doing naughty behaviors like mounting each other. So hey, go farm, do something else, and it's kind of like being at college. Can you imagine this going off at college? Texts would be going all over the place, all the girls in heat and guys in heat. Oh my God.
How did cows mate before technology? How did
they do that?
How'd we get baby cows?
Well, before they weren't confined. They were out running around doing their own thing. Now we put them in, raising capacities.
I've never seen a cow run, so even if one cow's ready, by the time the other cow gets there, the 18 hours has passed. Sounds like another reality show.
Cows Gone Wild.
Yeah, no, it's just a show about farmers impregnating their cows.
It would be interesting. But you know what? I feel bad for these poor guys because cows usually they tend to be more receptive at night. So this poor guy's trying to sleep. He keeps getting texts all night long.
But they love the life.
Some of the shows that are on NBC right now, that would totally win compared to some of those shows.
Are you saying that there's crap TV out there right now?
Boy, is there a bunch of crap TV right now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Cindy, how you doing, Cindy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from?
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
You got one of those new Sports Illustrated phones, didn't you, for a subscription, didn't you?
No.
Where are you calling from again?
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Stillwater, Oklahoma. I drove through there once. Do you live there?
Well, I live outside of town here, yes.
Okay. What's going on with your animal? I have the doc here and the trainer. We're all here for you.
Awesome. Well, I've got he's about a 4 or 5 year old pit bull that that's what I do is I rescue animals, and I've had lots of them spayed and neutered, but this is the first one that I've ever had neutered that he's swollen up larger now than he was before I had him neutered.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Just right in the scrotal area?
Yes.
Okay. And how long ago did he have surgery?
Monday.
Okay. Is it getting bigger, or did it get to like a big size? And like, how big are we talking? I mean, we're talking kiwi fruit, oranges, softballs.
Kiwi fruit, yeah.
Kiwi fruit.
Like kiwi, yeah.
Okay.
And I called the vet, and she told me, that it happens sometimes, and to put some DMSO furacin on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done that and done it, and it's still not going down. And he licks it off just about as soon as I put it on there. So.
Okay. Yeah. And, the first thing is he can't be licking because we need to make sure this boy is in one of those lovely Elizabethan collars because with a scrotal hematoma. So basically when this happens in male dogs, testicles are removed, but either because of a bleeding tendency, small blood vessels that kind of choose to keep on bleeding after surgery, or even some drugs can that are used for pain relief can sometimes alter the ability to clot. And when that happens, we can get this very large buildup of blood in the scrotum. And sometimes that can be painful. So for some of these doggies, they do need pain medications. We may decide to put them on antibiotics if the incision decides to open up at all. But it does really require some supervision by the vet. So I'd make sure they put their eyeballs on this. And it's not terribly common. So when I do see this happen, sometimes, the first instinct is to say, oh my God, the vet botched the surgery. Holy cow. And, before I rush to judgment, there are these other factors. And sometimes pit bulls, believe it or not, can be a dog where I do see a tendency for some types of problems. They can have a tendency for some types of infections, some parasitic infections actually, that can alter their blood coagulation, their clotting. So in some areas of the country, if you have ticks, it might be worthwhile having them checked for some tick-borne diseases. Most of those can be treated with antibiotics if that's the case. So that's where I just kind of want to get an eyeball on them. And in other cases, it's just, like I said, pain management and a tincture of time. Every pet's different, but sometimes I'll encounter a non-steroidal pain reliever that we use for pain relief. And in some patients, it may cause them to bleed more, just like my father who's on aspirin and blood thinners. And, he gets poked with something and, we've got a bleeding mess. And it's kind of like the ER when we go out in public. We're always throwing Band-Aids and styptic powders on him just to try to stop the bleeding. So the biggest thing is keeping him away from that. So if you can get an Elizabethan collar without going to the vet, you can check your pet stores, feed stores. That might be one thing. But as far as pain relief, you really got to get to the vet. that because I would be hesitant to tell you any over-the-counter pain relievers if he's already having a bleeding issue. So I would see your vet for the pain relievers. That's going to be the best way. Some doggies, if he's really anxious or uncomfortable, he can get freaked out by this. So sometimes I'll use tranquilizers too. So, but that too, again, you're going to need to talk to your vet and see them for that.
Good thing. Thank you so very much for all your help.
Hey, thanks for listening, Cindy. Let's go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are you doing?
Doing well, guys. How are you?
Good. What's going on in your world?
Well, I've got these two dogs that are from the same breed, same litter, and I'm trying to take them out on walks, and I'm trying to take one out, leaving the other one kind of watching the house, if you will. And when we tend to do that, the dog that's not getting walked is out of control, howling, crying. It's a nuisance. Is Alan there?
I'm here, Jeff. I'm here for you, buddy. Now, you take the one dog out and everything is cool, and you leave the other dog in the house, and the dog howls and goes nutty?
He does. And it's not even if he's in the house. I may even have him in the backyard while I walk the other dog. I mean, I get it. He's jealous that he's not getting walked while the other one is. But it's like out of control noise, if you know what I mean.
All right, buddy, he's not jealous. Okay, dogs don't get jealous. The problem is the pack is leaving, and you're leaving him behind, and he thinks he's in charge, and he's like, well, you guys aren't allowed to go. I didn't give you permission to go. So that's why he's howling. And to eliminate the problem, firstly, you got to be the pack leader. You got to be in charge, Jeff. Are you in charge? Are you a man or a mouse, Jeff?
Hey now.
Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Where's your? Let me talk to your wife. I want to find out who's in charge in that house. Jeff, you've got to walk them together. One on your left, one on your right. You've got to keep them right at your side. You cannot let them walk in front of you. And above all, you've got to have a choker chain on so you can give corrections. And a correction is given with a quick flick of the wrist. It's just a quick flick of the wrist and no talking, Jeff. And you walk them together every single day for at least 15, 20 minutes, at least one time a day. You enter the house first. You don't let them go first. You control the food. You do all these little things to let them know you're in charge. And once your dog sees that you're in charge, that you're a strong, confident, compact leader, the barking and the howling will stop because you'll just look at him and go, hey, quiet. Now, if he doesn't listen to you, you have to have a punishment place, like a dark room or even his kennel. I mean, because you're always happy to see your dog when he comes out of the kennel. So you put him in that place to let him know that the behavior is not, you don't like it. And when he's doing what you do want, that's when you go, good dog. But you got to walk them together, and you got to be the pack leader, Jeff. Can you do that?
I can work on that.
Work on that, buddy. And be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to be patient. But the less words, the better. Don't talk so much. Use your body. Be calm, stand straight, confident.
Awesome. Thanks for that advice.
I think you would have been talking to my wife because she does that to me. Because when my neighbor across the street, when she comes out of her house, I howl, and she puts me on a choker chain. And so if you've been talking to my wife, we're gonna have a problem here, Cable. Let me tell you.
I think Joey. I pictured you on a choker chain, Joey. Why did I know that?
There you go. Thanks for your call, Jeff. Well, you lucky dog, don't forget you can get your fix of Animal Radio anytime you want with the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. It's made possible by Fear-Free Happy Homes, helping your pets live their happiest, healthiest, fullest lives at home, at the vet, and everywhere in between. Visit them at fearfreehappyhomes.com. And thanks, Fear-Free, for underwriting Animal Radio.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Hi, this is Mayim Bialik on Animal Radio. Please adopt a pet.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
It's Animal Radio. Who made the coffee today? Is that you?
I don't make coffee. I don't drink coffee. I don't make it. I don't know how to make it because I don't drink it, so I don't know what's good or bad.
No, whoever made the coffee this morning, good stuff. It's putting hair on my chest. Ladies and gentlemen, we all bow right now for the dog father, Joey Villani.
You know what's funny is this week I got a few people emailed me for the same issue, and I've had two people that actually were asking me about a good ear cleaner. I know I've spoken about it before, but I'm going to reiterate a few things. A good general ear cleanser, and there's a few variables you got to take into consideration first. Are you using it just for general cleaning? Are you trying to clean something up like an infection or ear mites or something like that? And that's the first thing that you have to determine. If you don't know if the pet has an ear infection, the easiest way to tell is smell it. If it smells funny whatsoever, it shouldn't smell like anything. It should smell like a dog. But if it smells yeasty, if it smells sour, or if there's any sort of discharge that looks not normal, like black discharge or even like mucusy, the first thing I would do at that point is take it to a veterinarian and have it professionally looked at, not your groom or your veterinarian, because it could be something a little bit more serious. Groomers, basically, what they'll do is just do a general, cleaning of just earwax and debris. And, if you do that on a regular basis, you should really not have too many problems with your pet's ears. Now, some pets and some breeds normally just have chronic ear problems, like Cocker Spaniels, and a lot of the setters and the Spaniels, because of the way their ears are, they have, long, thick ear flaps that come over most of them. And what it does, it doesn't let the air get in there and dry things out. So if it gets a little bit moist, it's a little bit easier for it to, grow any sort of bacteria or yeast or something like that. Anyway, getting away from that. Now, we determined everything looks good. This is the first thing you're going to do. If a dog has hair in its ear in abundance, you want to take it out. Now, it might not be something you want to do at home.
Yeah, how do you do that? You just cut it out?
No, basically you just pull it out. It has a short root base, and groomers, what they'll do is they'll put a powder in that just gives it a little bit better grip and pull it out. It don't hurt that much. And
how do you know?
Yeah, wait. When I pull hair out of my ears,
did you ever pull the hair out of it? Don't hurt when you pull your own. Well, right now the grooming world is being turned upside down, and the veterinarian world too, because some people say pluck, some people say don't. What I say is leave it alone, because if it's fine to begin with, why mess with it? There's a couple of different types of home remedies that you can use as a good ear cleaner. The first thing you can use is a little witch hazel. Witch hazel works good, but my favorite is white vinegar, 50% and 50%. And I like using distilled water. I mean, they say you can use tap water, but I like distilled water because you know what? There's nothing in it. Nothing you have to worry about. Mix a little bit of that. Put a little bit on a cotton ball and go in there and swab it out, and just go down as far as you can see. You don't want to go deep. Now, what I will not do is I will not do an ear flushing. If I'm going to do an ear flush, I make sure I get the proper solution from a veterinarian, and I follow the dosage. So this is just for general ear cleaning. But if you do that, if your dog has healthy ears to begin with, and you do that once, twice a month, really you don't need to do it any more than that unless your dog has some sort of chronic problem and it needs to be done. But other than that, I would just go in with that. And the one thing you want to do is when you're done with the solution, throw it away. It's not something you want to keep around the house. It's cheap enough to make it. If you do that, you'll have a nice, healthy, happy dog.
That can hear you.
There you go.
Good advice. Keep those ears clean. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Villani on Animal Radio.
No potatoes. Did your mother ever say that when you were a kid? Potatoes in your ear?
Take those potatoes out of your ear.
All right.
Get potatoes growing in your ears.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an old Italian mother's thing.
I don't know. My mother wasn't Italian. I don't know. I grew up on the East Coast. Maybe it was an East Coast thing.
Are there Q-tips for dogs?
Ooh, there's a good idea. I don't think you can put.
You know what?
Put those in. Can you?
You use regular.
I like staying away from it only because you know what? I've seen too many people use Q-tips in their dog's ears and then have to go to the veterinarian because the dog shook its head or turned and then lodged in the ear and it broke off. And believe it or not, we We had a dog once that came into the salon, and we were cleaning its ear, and we noticed something in there. We went in with a hemostat, and we pulled out a half of a Q-tip.
Oh,
and the people said, "Oh, that must have been in there for a while because we haven't used Q-tips in the dog's ear in about 6 months." So.
Hi, it's Alan Cable. How much do you love your pet? A couple in Texas is trying to sell their home so they can offer a $50,000 reward for their dog.
Me and my wife, we've never had any children, and I guess maybe that dog is replacement for a child. That we had him, for 5 years, and I got all those memories, but we just want some more, We're greedy.
That man's name is Charlie Parker.
We just want another day, another week, another month, another year.
One thing's for sure, we all need to love, and we all need to be loved back. And there's nothing more powerful. So besides giving a dog a home, what's the greatest gift you can give? Well, being a great dog owner. It means understanding and satisfying your dog's needs, learning to communicate with your dog. Dogs need these 4 things: socialization, structure, exercise, and affection. You're going to have to learn to communicate like a dog. And that's done with body language, not with words. Last week, we were talking about the most common dog behavioral problems. We covered barking and chewing. Let's talk about separation anxiety. If a dog has separation anxiety, he might get very anxious right before you leave. He's going to want to follow you around constantly, touch you whenever he can. And when you leave, a lot of things can happen. He might start chewing up your couch, going to the bathroom all over the place, barking. To change this behavior, modify it, and desensitize your dog first requires you to become a calm, confident, trustworthy, consistent leader. When your dog looks to you for leadership and can depend on you, the anxiety level naturally is reduced. Then you can start to teach him that, yes, you're leaving, but you're definitely coming back. In the dog world, the leader of the pack is the only one who's allowed to leave without permission. So if you're not in charge, when you leave, your dog gets all anxious because you're leaving without permission. You can begin by locking your dog in a crate and paying no attention to him for about 10-15 minutes. Then just leave. Come back in about a half hour. Pay no attention to your dog for 10-15 minutes and then let him out of the kennel. Don't talk to him, though. And then over time, lengthen the amount of time you stay away. Your dog will learn that you're in charge, you're leaving, and you're coming back. And because you're not making a big deal out of leaving and coming back, your dog will learn to be calm while you're doing it.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Hi, this is Jesse Tyler Ferguson from Modern Family. I'm on Animal Radio. Adopt a pet.
This is an Animal Radio News Update.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. A pair of otters have made it clear that their art isn't worthless after their paintings became a hit in their Minnesota aquarium gift shop. The Duluth News-Tribune reports that Zoosh and Ang first started painting about a year ago. What they did is they smeared blobs of children's paint on pieces of cardstock. Great Lake Aquarium employee Kathy Dickey says she also tried to get him to use canvases, but she says they're not a big fan of canvases. I know why, because they probably like the smell of wood, so paper is better for them. Dickey explains that each painting takes about 15 minutes to complete, at which point she decides which works are worth framing and putting up for sale in the gift shop. She says they usually sell 10 to 20 pieces during the weekend at $35 a piece. Not a bad part-time job for a little otter. A Denver brewery is turning an April Fool's Day joke into something a little more thirst-quenching. The Wine Coop Brewing Company recently announced plans to release a beer that's made with bull testicles. It's dubbed Rocky Mountain Oyster Stout. Head brewer Andy Brown explains that they got a slew of compliments from interested beer drinkers when they sent out their original April Fool's spoof. So they decided to turn the joke into a reality. Brown says the brew is an assertive foreign-style stout with deep flavors of chocolate syrup, Kahlua, and espresso. The drink, which gets its name from the local moniker for fried bull's testicles, goes on sale at the Wine Coop Brewing Company's pub in Denver. Sounds like that's a great thing. I'd love to be able to get something that was made with bull's testicles. 1 life down and 8 more to go for a kitten. I'm going to be right there with that kitten. It was rescued from a car's engine in Maryland. The Washington Post says firefighters responded when a BMW owner had just left an auto repair shop and had heard what sounded like a cat meowing from inside his car. Well, a firefighter reached into the engine compartment, pulled out a brown and white kitten small enough to fit in its hand. The little itty-bitty kitty probably crawled inside the car at the repair shop. It was a bit frightened, but it's said to be just fine otherwise. For the time being, the cat is staying inside a potato chip box at the fire station. And there's a freewheeling miniature potbelly pig that's been wreaking havoc on a Pennsylvania neighborhood. An animal has been called Dozer, and it's been rooting around and destroying people's yards in Midland Heights. But Christy Bellato says she's worried that the pig might turn wild and start harming more than just their front lawns. Bellato says there have been attempts to capture it, but nobody's had any success. The Pennsylvania Game Commission suspects Dozer used to be somebody's pet, but it was left behind when that person moved away. Well, I hope they catch it so it doesn't turn into sausage. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update. Get more at animalradio.com.
Hey folks, this is Jackson Galaxy. You're listening to Animal Radio. Please do everyone a favor, spay or neuter your animals today.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now with the free Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
To my left, Dr. Debbie answering your vet medical questions. To my right, animal trainer, dog trainer, Alan Cable. Do you need to get that phone? You don't turn that off during the show?
Well, that's a cool ring right there. I like that.
Little iPhone. Dog father Joey Villani is also here. Animal communicator Joey Turner and name dropper Wendy Diamond all here. Well, everybody has their title. I was just.
I've been hanging out with so-and-so and so-and-so.
Yes. Pope came over. We had some coffee.
You got to love it. Let's see. Oh, we know who we have on the phone. This is cool. We do this every year. And do we have the same guy? Different guy this year?
I think it's a different guy this year.
We always have Ripley's Believe It or Not come on every year when their new edition comes out and talk about some of the animals that are in this edition. And this year we have Edward Meyer. Well, hey, Edward, how you doing?
I'm doing well. It sounds like you got a big team there. I'm outnumbered.
We are a big team. In fact, we all have to wear name tags.
We'll be nice.
You got to tell me what's wrong with giving your dog milk bones.
Oh, they're just crap food.
Okay, shouldn't be doing that, eh?
They're better treats.
Are they a sponsor? Are they a sponsor of ours?
No.
I just wanted to make.
I didn't want to go there.
No, they're not.
Okay.
So my dog prefers beef ones, but he has no problems with milk bones.
Well, you know what? I hear stories all the time. I hear stories all the time where these animals live on this crap food and they live long lives. Like you had a cat that lived on Friskies, for 17 years? No problems?
No problems.
Although
he might have lived longer if he was on a premium food. He might have lived till 20. You don't know.
Never know.
You got to watch your food these days, especially with all the recalls from China now coming in and all the treats. And anyway, I want to talk about Ripley's Believe It or Not. Again, we have the book here, which is, again, it's a huge book. And it's
256 pages.
I'm telling you.
Roughly 2,500 stories, 500 photographs.
Yeah, and I love photographs. Those are my favorite kind of books.
Well, a couple of them in this book are, cat and dog related, so we've got something to talk about.
You do. You have some. I've actually dog-marked some of the pages. Judy hates it when I do that.
There's actually a whole chapter on animals.
Yes, there is.
It's one of my favorite sections in the whole book, so that's, like roughly 25 pages worth. But what is new, what is different about this book this year?
Yeah, what do you got this year?
As you've mentioned, we've been on the show before. I'm not sure I have.
Some English guy with
some British guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a guy named Tim O'Brien you might have had before.
That might have been him.
Yeah.
I see this year.
What's brand new this year is a little bit of technology. As per the title of the book, Download the Weird, we've got a brand new Ripley app phone app for your iPhone or your iPad, and we got some instructions early in the book how to download that for free. Once you have the Ripley app, there's 17 pages in this particular book that you can take a picture of with your iPhone. There's a fancy logo, red and green logo, says OddScan, and it's visual recognition technology.
Holy
take a
moly!
Picture of that label, and you suddenly got more information, more photos, a video, maybe an interview, and two of the OddScan, two of those 17s. One's on a two-faced cat, and one's about a dog that likes to go on a child's scooter.
The two-faced cat, we actually had the owners on, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So
yes,
we know about them, but the ones that I was curious about, did you hear about this poop for gold? These guys in New Taipei in Taiwan were given a chance to turn their pet's poop into gold. I guess to clean up the streets, which I guess had a lot of poop in the streets.
You really don't want to go there, do you?
Oh, Hal does.
I absolutely.
All the stories in the book.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the deal. Do you know the story? Can you tell the story? Or do I need to tell the story?
Well, you go for it. It would take me a second to find that one, but if you've got it on the tip of your tongue, you go for it.
City officials said anyone handing in dog poop was entered for a drawing in this contest, which included $2,100 in gold bars. So people were turning in poop left and right. And I'm telling you, this might work right here in the United States of America. I go out to the...
We got a lot of crap around here, don't we?
Yes, there is.
That's a great idea. Right up there with Starbucks for dogs.
Now, we never encourage anyone to go out and buy any animals. We encourage you to go to adopt them. But if you happen to be out and you happen to have an extra $1.5 million sitting in your pocket, you can get this red Tibetan Mastiff puppy that was $1.5 million for this dog named Hong Dong. Hong Dong. Apparently, I guess he was bred, I don't know why he was so special.
Well, they're rare in China, are they not?
Are they rare?
Yeah, they're very sought after, and they're huge dogs. They're quite massive dogs. They're 150 pounds and plus. So,
what stories come to mind for you?
We mentioned photographs, so I'll start there. Maybe my favorite photograph in the entire book, but certainly my favorite pet photograph, page 58. We've got a kitten who likes to hide in a glass jar. And I've got both cats and dogs, and my cat sleeps in some pretty strange places, does some pretty strange things. But this is a white-haired Himalayan, looks like a real fuzzy, lots of fluffy hair, big blue eyes, called Mudini, yuck, from Moscow, Russia. And it's in a tomato jar.
Yeah, now, can you get out of there? Let me hold up the picture to the microphone so that people can see the picture.
Get that visual recognition there.
It looks like one of those bottles that you build the ship in, except there's a cat in it.
It's a large bottle. It's got maybe a 3-inch mouth to it, but it still doesn't look very comfortable or the proper size for this big kitten. And I know my cat can get in pretty small places, but I hope it doesn't try that one.
Yeah. You sure they didn't grow the cat in there, put it in there as a kitten?
No, we do that with fruits and vegetables.
Chris Angel trick gone horribly wrong.
When I was a kid, I loved looking at Ripley's Believe It or Not. I was attracted to the unusual. So for the kitty with the 5 ears, that is something I would have been all over as a child. I guess it was a disturbing sign.
Great book. I have 10 copies to give. Is that correct?
Yes.
9 copies to give away right now.
I know you're not giving that one.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
The book can be bought wherever fine books are sold, or Ripley's.com, Amazon.com, and all new great gift item.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too. I know this sounds crazy, but in the future, you might be searched by wasps at the airport. And I mean those little flying, stinging, bee-like insects. Hard to believe, but wasps can be trained to respond to the smell of explosives and drugs. They're cheaper than a dog to train, which can cost up to $15,000 for 6 months of training. How would it work? The wasps can be contained in a pipe-like device attached to a computer which would read their reactions to smells. They work for 48 hours and then they're turned loose to live out the remainder of their life, which is only about 2 to 3 weeks. It's only in the beginning stages, but this sting operation looks very promising. I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio. Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
This is Glenn Close on Animal Radio, urging you to spay or neuter your pet.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. 800-696-2871. That's 800-696-2871.
Hi, this is Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson, and you're listening to Animal Radio. Don't have a cow, man.
Hey, Animal Radio, it's Vinny Penn, your party animal, coming at you. I could get in trouble on this one because I know you're all animal lovers and you don't draw the thin lines. That maybe I do. There are some animals I find a bit more difficult to love than others. So if you want to come and get me, always feel free. Vinny at animalradio.com. I welcome your emails. I enjoy reading them, and I respond to every one of them. This particular subject, I may have even covered it loosely before, but I'm going to get a little bit more intricate right now, has to do with roadkill. Now, I know we're in the middle, the economy is tanking. I mean, we're as close to the Great Depression as we've been since the Great Depression. And I know there are layoffs aplenty. City workers would have golden handshakes, but the length of time roadkill is hanging around in my area is obscene these days. I mean, you're running over the same squirrels and possum and possum. Is that the plural of possum? I'm not really sure. And raccoons. It's really all quite disgusting, and it's going on day to day to day to day to day. And maybe there's been so many layoffs they just can't get to it. But I say, if it's a cat or a dog, even if you get to the point of a deer, that should be a priority. That one should go out priority. And I don't want to be dismissive of the possum or the possi, and that's why I think some of you might get mad at me. But I mean, these nocturnal creatures that are these squirrels, I mean, you do see a lot of that. The dog or the cat, that's a priority, particularly anything with a collar around its neck. I don't want to be bleeding hard here, but I mean it. A dog should be picked up within a half an hour, tops, of being reported in. I don't want to drive by that repeatedly with these guys. What else is their job? And I don't even know what their job title is. Roadkill inspector. I mean, it sounds like a movie for the get her done guy. All I know is, I'm going to come right out and say it. I mean, possum, all right. I can see it coming up.
Yeah, we got a possum down on Main Street. Dead possum on Main Street. It's Monday morning. Over. Yeah, I'm not really going to be able to get to that. Maybe until tomorrow or the next day. That's fine. As I said, it's a possum. You can take that day or two.
All right, fine. But if you get,
we got a dog on Main Street. That's priority. Over.
I want to hear that SOB come back.
I'm on my way.
Vinny Penn, party animal on Animal Radio.
Let's see. We have, we're going to line 4. We have Dusty for Dr. Debbie. Hi, Dusty. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
What's going on?
2 years ago, we decided to get some cows, and we have a few acres and wanted to raise our own meat. And basically, first year we had a cow, we had it transported out to be bred and brought back. And that's all kind of complicated and costly. So this year, a friend of mine had a bull that he brought over to our place, and we had a heifer that I actually saw them breed like 3 different months, and I wasn't understanding why they weren't taking. actually what I want to know is there some type of urine test that you could do for a cow so you wouldn't have to have a vet come out?
That's a great question. And first, Dusty, I have to start off in saying that my exposure to the large animal variety of cattle work is generally limited to that of the medium rare variety. So as far as in my office, I deal with small animals, but I have consulted with some of my large animal colleagues, and I can tell you that urine tests for pregnancy are just not available at this time for cattle. And the reason it works in people is because we're testing for a specific hormone that women excrete in the urine, and there just really hasn't been anything isolated in the urine that can consistently predict pregnancy in cows. There are some blood tests that can be done. So even if you don't have a veterinarian involved, that might be something that you can look at having done. But especially if this gal is having trouble with conception, then this might really truly be the indication where you need to get a veterinary professional to help you to determine if we've got some kind of fertility issues going on. And then definitely, any species, we can run into fertility issues, dogs, cats, you name it, horses, pigs, and there can be all sorts of issues. So, I would have to say, find a good large animal veterinarian in your area, get her screened, get her checked out, and then maybe from there you can pick up and start doing some work with the breeding.
Could you imagine if there was a pregnancy test for cows? I mean, they'd have to pee on a stick. Can you imagine that? How do they have to do that?
It's a great idea.
Command. As soon as I walk over there, they pee.
But it's a great idea because there is such a problem with veterinary shortage in the large animal and the food animal industries. So, it would be great to say, is there a large animal vet for you in that area? But, in some areas it can be tough or even sometimes cost prohibitive. So, I think there's a lot of voices out there saying we need something like this for cattle. And most of the work that's been promising has really been with the blood tests.
You don't deal with the big animals, but you always talk about your colleagues that do. They always have big, muscly arms. Why is that again?
Yeah, for all that palpation. And I got to say, when I was a vet student, or actually it was way before I got into vet school, they had a cow in the vet school where you got to put your hand in, and it had a big kind of a sphincter in the side where you put the hand inside the rumen and you got to feel around. And I told you, I was sold on veterinary medicine. Just such cool stuff. My mother was about vomiting in the corner. And here I am like, wow, it smells so cool in there. And she was just absolutely disgusted.
Yeah. That's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us on Animal Radio. Remember to download the Animal Radio app for your smartphone. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
This is Animal Radio Network.